Getting the most from your Google search. There are still a few more things about Google search of which I want you to be aware. This video is going to show you how to customize your search results using dates, media types such as video, news, or books, and by reading level. And we will also be exploring Google News. So let's get started. I'm going to use the topic of 9/11, and I'm just going to do a basic search, and then I'm going to use this basic search to show you how you can customize your results. So a couple quick observations about my search results. One, the fact that I have close to 400 million results, so an incredible number. Types of results, you're going to see Wikipedia. I see something from the Memorial, the National Geographic site, History.com, a couple conspiracy sites. So a variety of sites are coming up in my results list. But I need to narrow those both in terms of number and in terms of focus. The first thing that I'm going to do that is I'm going to click on this Search Tools button. And I'm going to look at this Anytime link. And what the Anytime link allows us to do is narrow our search by time period, within the last hour, 24 hours, week, month, year, or we can put in a custom range. All right, so I'm going to click on past week a minute. And what I'm looking for would be, let's say I wanted to see what kind of connections were being made to 9/11 and the Boston bombings. So I've narrowed it to the last week. And as I'm looking for these, I'm seeing, this should not be a repeat for American Muslims, exposes limits of security, the brothers followed conspiracy theories. So I'm finding some articles, some sites that do make a connection between those two. I also could switch this to custom range and enter my own date. So I could literally go back to 9/11. All right, and let's say I'm going to do a month there and see, okay, I just want things from that exact time period, so more than 10 years ago. Again, we're going to get a couple things that we've seen, but we're also going to get some additional sites. All right, and we're going to end up with much fewer results. Okay, so I focused in on the past week, but I also focused in on an historical perspective. So different ways that you can take, a basic search and make it more precise. While we're also talking about the search tools, I want to also talk about the All the Results option. So I'm going to click on that in a minute. And specifically what I want to look at is reading level. Most people do not realize that they can have their search results displayed according to a particular reading level. Google organizes its results into 3 levels: basic, intermediate, and advanced. And you can see that it gives us the percentage as to how many of our results fall in to that particular category. If I feel like I'm kind of a struggling reader, I can click on the basic link, and all I will see are the search results that fall under that basic reading level. All right, so I don't have to be worried about encountering something at the advanced level, which would be more of a college reading level. So just a little tool that a lot of people aren't aware of, but can really be helpful when you're trying to read a lot of content on the internet. All right, so that kind of looks at those two things. All right. Now we're going to, well, before I do that, I want to click clear because I just want to get rid of all of the specializing we've done. And we're going to go ahead and look at this More link. Specifically, we're going to look at the video option and the book option. So I'm still in my 9/11 search, and now what I'm saying to Google is I only want videos that are about 9/11. And that's exactly what I have on my screen now, videos from 9/11. I can go to my search tools, and now I have any source, which can be helpful. And you can see the sources that it will sort by: YouTube, CBS News, History, The Daily Beast, not sure what this one is, dailymotion.com. So I'm looking at my results, and I'm seeing a lot of YouTube, which, there's nothing wrong with YouTube, but we all know that individuals can post things on YouTube. So the accuracy, the validity of those things, we're not always sure of. Let's see what we get from a true news source like CBS News. So I'm going to select that. And now you can see that I only have results of videos that would have aired on CBS News. Still my 9/11 search, still looking just at videos, but now I'm strictly looking at them from cbsnews.com. All right, we've got other options here about length, about when they were published, all of those kinds of things. So same search, but I clicked on the more and I selected videos. All right, now I'm going to clear my search again, and I am going to select books. All right, you get a wide variety of results from Google Books. All right. Sometimes large sections of the book can actually be read online, enough of it that you can use it for research purposes. Sometimes they're letting you know that an ebook is available for purchase through Google, and sometimes they're just telling you where you can purchase the book. But it's still useful to consider and to look at Google Books, because if you're doing an in-depth research project, Google Books in a way can serve as an extension of the card catalog, give you information about titles that are available for your topic that you might search other libraries for, or that you might actually want to purchase. I'll go ahead and click on one and see what we get here, just so you can kind of have a feel for it. All right, as I'm looking at this one, because I'm seeing this previous and next and view all, it is looking to me like this particular book we can actually view entirely online. And if I scroll, I'm going to see other pages. Yeah, that's exactly what we're getting. All right, I don't know anything about this author. I don't know anything at this point about the credibility of this book. I probably, before I used this as a source, would want to search this author's name and see if I could find something out about him. But in this instance, you're actually seeing the full text of a book. So again, I want to make sure that you're aware that this is an option that you should be considering. All right, let's get out of this book. All right, so I'm back to my book results. And one more thing I want to look at under here. Again, I'm going to go back to more. And this time I'm going to switch to news. Again, I'm still on my 9/11 search. And now I'm just going to be presented with news articles, from whether they're print sources, TV sources, online sources, but news articles that have something to do with 9/11. All right. All right, so we have looked at several ways under search tools with time frames, under more with videos, books, and news, that I can take a very basic search, one that I had almost 400,000 search results for, and I can really narrow and focus those search results down into something that I can, that I can actually use and search through. So that's one segment of what I wanted to cover in this video. The other aspect that I wanted to look at with you is Google's news site. Most students are very aware that you can search for images, you can go to a specific image search. All right. We also can go to a specific news, and I'm going to get 9/11 out of here because I just want to go to the home page for news first. Take a minute here for it to load. Okay, this is the home page for news. Whatever is, you can see it says top stories. So whatever's going on in the world, you are going to see on this home landing page. These are all links that you can go to and read the article. Sometimes they will have related things, like if you want to know the history or more about the president, in this instance of Syria. You can, we're in the US edition, we can switch to different countries, and a lot of times that can be very interesting. How one country treats a news source or a news event can be very different from another country. Syria is a prime example of that. The US is treating the situation in Syria much differently and looking at it much differently than China is, for instance. Over here on the left, you've got links to top stories. You can go directly to those. And then you can also focus your search by regions like Michigan, world, US, or just specific topics. I'm just interested in entertainment news, for instance. Let's see what comes up. All right, or I'm just interested in sports news. I just want to know, did the Red Wings win last night? What happened in the baseball game? So I just have sports news. All right, since we're from Michigan, let me get back here a second. Notice that you got news near you. Whoops, I went too far. Well, that's what happens here. Got a little click happy. Let's get rid of our 9/11. Let's get ourselves back to news. Guess these are all things that happen when we're searching, don't they? Okay, so let's just go to Michigan for a second. I want you to see this. All right, so Michigan stories. All right, but not necessarily from Michigan papers. Just, there are events that happen in Michigan that other states will pick up. They might have national interest. So you can see some Detroit Free Press, but I also see some Huffington Post, some Wall Street Journal. All right, so you're going to get a variety of sources. Here's some more specific Michigan ones. But sometimes, again, just like between looking at different countries, it can be very interesting to see how a local event is covered in a local source versus covered on the national level. All right. The other thing that I want you to know is that once you're in news, you also can do specific searches. All right, so I want to get back to the home page here a minute. All right, so I can do a search here, and I'm going to search for the Texas explosion from last week. So I'm going to do all right, and I'm going to put fertilizer explosion in quotes. I might not have to, but it is a phrase, so we're going to see what happens. All right, so now I am strictly getting results from news sources that are about the terrible fertilizer factory explosion that happened in Texas last week. All right, so again, just in news. So rather than searching the whole web, all right, where I would get websites, newspapers, people's blogs, their reactions, images, I strictly am getting news sources in this. All right? And again, it's really easy to switch over. Let's say I want more than news. All I have to do is click here where it says Google Search. And I have now searched the entire web for information. All right, so I don't have just newspaper sources now. I have websites, I have everything. All right, so we're right back where we started, and I could do the time frame. I could narrow it to videos. Obviously, there aren't going to be any books about this yet, but it's very easy to navigate between all these features. All right, so just to kind of summarize what we've covered here so far, we've talked about using Google a basic search, but then using the search tools and the more function to narrow our search, either by dates, locations, by reading level, or by type of media, video, book, websites, those kinds of things. We've also gone into Google News and explored how we can just get news sources and separate those out from all the other types of information that we might want. All right, over the course of the past week, we've explored how you can use Google to customize your searches, which will in turn going to help improve your search results. What we're going to be doing next is looking to tie all these pieces together.